Town Hall, H.E. White architect, also the same architect for the Civic Theatre, built very much under the direction of the mayor of the time, a guy called Maurice Light. He wanted to build a new town hall and he travelled to South Africa, Durban, and writes about how good Durban Town Hall is and asked White to model this town hall on that. For that reason, we get a little bit of the Egyptian stuff at the top, the neoclassical. So when you look at the actual clock tower, to be a representation of the lighthouse of Pharos. So it's got the urn at the top, which would have been a burning flame in the lighthouse at Alexandria.
I like the grand drive up to the Port Cochere at the front. The marble stairs have got a certain grandeur to them.
Just its joinery, and they've been true to the stage and its sort of proscenium. I like the idea of supper rooms. You might go to something in the upper hall and then have your meals and your dinners in the lower hall. And then the council chambers themselves, just a beautiful piece of work. And it was designed for something very specific so that they could hold dances but also do other cultural things. So it was a very adaptable space and still is.
There was some controversy at the time about the location of where the City Hall would be placed. Some of the councillors wanted it facing Hunter Street. Light thought that it would be too congested in the future with traffic, and the more ideal location would be King Street. An unlikely position considering the area of the park was quite a wasteland, and in hindsight now, that's why we have Civic Park.
Sadly, with the town hall, Maurice Light, the mayor, died before it was completed, so he never saw his vision in reality.
Something else that we should be proud of as Novocastrians with our City Hall, not only did it house the offices of the first female Lord Mayor in Australia, Joy Cummings, she also made a landmark decision 44 years ago to be the first civic building in the country to fly the Aboriginal flag.
We replaced hundreds of stones across the building, some being a couple of 100 kilos, and the largest ones that we did install were about 2.5 tonnes each.
Built out of a stone called Sydney yellow block, and what yellow block does when it's first cut out, it comes out very light, but over time, depending on the amount of iron oxides in it, depends how red it will go. The new sandstone they have put in is yellow block, so over time it will go red.
The columns on the outside of the building, of course, they're part of the cladding, so they're not actually structural. So during the restoration program, up on the scaffold, you were able to actually push the columns and you could feel them moving. The geometry of the columns, of course, meant that they couldn't fail and fall out, and so they're quite secure, but we did install pins in them as part of the works. Favourite part of the building is undoubtedly the clock tower. The view from the bell chamber is spectacular, 360 degrees around the city.
City Hall has always been a meeting place, a place for the community.
Just this heartbeat of cultural and political and social life for this city for decades, and it still performs some of those functions today.